On the secluded Qingyun Peak, Shennan's eye swallowed the youth preservation pill. Instantly, he felt the medicinal power circulating, and many of the fine lines at the corners of his eyes disappeared. In the mirror was his own middle-aged image, with graying temples. He looked even more refined and otherworldly, exuding dignity with a touch of celestial charm. The energy he had consumed just now was completely restored. He slowly turned around and looked at Mu Rongshan kneeling on the ground, feeling extremely delighted. This wasn't a useless disciple at all. He was clearly a walking experience package. Even if he couldn't break through himself, if he could obtain tens of millions of skill cards for the middle and upper three realms from his disciple, wouldn't that be as good as being invincible in the world? If worst came to worst, he could just be a card master, let his disciple take on the title of the Overlord or Supreme Being. He stepped forward a paces, smilingly helped the excited Mu Rongshan up, then gently said, "Get up, my disciple." Mu Rongshan's eyes were filled with fervor. With this sword technique, if he worked hard to improve his realm, it was really hard to say who would win or lose in the sect competition a year later. Shennan's eye took out a bottle of pills and placed it in Mu Rongshan's hand, earnestly instructing, "My disciple, there are 10 body tempering pills here. Take them to temper your body and strive to break through the realm as soon as possible." Mu Rongshan took the pills, his eyes reddening with excitement. Looking at his master, who seemed much younger, he repeatedly thanked him. "Thank you, master." Although his family wasn't short of pills, this sword technique was something he had never heard of before. After 2 years on the mountain, he finally saw hope. Shennan's eye nodded in satisfaction, just as he was about to say a few more words of encouragement to increase the admiration value. Suddenly, a series of curses came from the mountain path. "Mu Rongshan, get out here." 紧接着 was a rude curse. "Damn it. You've got some nerve today. You didn't even go to carry the demon manure. And you got me scolded severely by the deacon." Mu Rongshan frowned tightly, secretly thinking that something was wrong. The one cursing was Shanshan from the miscellaneous servant area. This person had the strength of the late body tempering realm. Relying on having a cousin in the law enforcement hall, he usually showed off his power in the miscellaneous servant area and often dumped his work on other miscellaneous servant disciples. He had originally planned to leave Lingfu Mountain today. He had forgotten about this. And unexpectedly, Shanshan actually came looking for him. Shennan's eye also frowned. How could the personal disciple of the Peak Master be forced to carry demon manure? He quickly understood. It turned out that Qingyun Peak had the lowest status in Lingfu Mountain. As a result, Mu Rongshan was also looked down upon and even treated as a miscellaneous servant. He hadn't paid much attention to Mu Rongshan these days, so he knew nothing about this. Seeing Shennan's eye frown, Mu Rongshan thought that he had displeased his master by forgetting about his work. He quickly and nervously said, "Master, please don't be angry. Disciple will go right away." "Stop." As soon as he turned around, Shennan's eye let out a stern shout. Mu Rongshan lowered his head nervously and remained silent. Shennan's eye said in a deep voice, "I haven't managed you these 2 years just to let you temper your mind. Now that you've tempered it enough, you just need to focus on cultivation." Mu Rongshan was stunned, his eyes filled with gratitude. So his master had been tempering him these 2 years. He hesitated and asked, "But how can I explain this to senior brother Shan?" Shennan's eye snorted coldly, his tone firm. "With me here, who would dare to force you to go?" Just as he finished speaking, a sneer came from not far away. At the mountain pass, a burly man with squinted eyes walked up, his eyes filled with mockery. "Shennan's eye, just because you're given the position of Peak Master, do you really think you're something? Hurry up and let him go carry the manure for me. Otherwise, if the deacon blames me, I'll make sure you pay." "How dare you!" Seeing him call his master by name directly, Mu Rongshan immediately became furious. Shennan's eye's face darkened as well. He stared coldly ahead and asked, "What did you just call me?" Shanshan frowned and arrogantly replied, "Are you deaf?" "I said." With a bang, the dull sound rang out, a flash of light passed, and before Shanshan could finish speaking, he was sent flying by a huge force. He tumbled backwards and fell to the ground, his chest hurting severely. Mu Rongshan stared blankly at Shennan's eye, who calmly withdrew his hand. He was stunned for a moment. Wasn't his master at the late stage of the body tempering realm? "Shennan's eye, how dare you hit me?" Shanshan got up in a sorry state, covering his chest. His eyes were filled with disbelief. "My cousin is one who from the law enforcement hall. Are you courting death? No matter whose man you are, if you dare to cause trouble on Qingyun Peak, don't blame me for being ruthless." Shennan's eye snorted coldly. While the 5-minute time limit hadn't passed yet, he unleashed the floating cloud palm again. The spiritual energy transformed into palm prints like clouds and roared towards Zhang Shen's chest. Spiritual energy externalization. Shang Shan's pupils constricted sharply as he was sent flying backwards. This time, he saw clearly. He landed heavily on the ground, his eyes filled with horror. To be able to externalize spiritual energy, one must at least be a warrior in the TC realm. How could Shen Anzai have broken through to the TC realm? This is impossible. Shen Anzai coldly warned, "Go back and tell those above you that Mu Rongshan is my personal disciple. How dare you order him around? If there's a next time, don't blame me for crippling you." Upon hearing this, Shang Shan's face instantly turned livid. He never expected that the usually weak peak master of Qingyun Peak would actually dare to refer to himself as the seed and be so tough today. Shen Anzai. Shang Shen was just about to say something when Shen Anzai's eyes slightly narrowed. He immediately panicked and quickly changed his words, gritting his teeth and saying, "Elder Shen, have you forgotten the sect rules? Mu Rongshan ranked last in last year's sect competition. If it weren't for your sake, he would have been expelled from the sect long ago. He doesn't have the qualification to stay in Lingfu Mountain at all, nor is he your personal disciple. I gave him the opportunity to be a miscellaneous servant disciple. Since you don't appreciate it, I'll report this matter to the law enforcement hall right now." After saying that, he quickly turned around and ran down the mountain in a hurry as Shen Anzai raised his hand, his face gloomy and ugly. For the past 2 years, he had always assigned his own work to Mu Rongshan. Originally, Mu Rongshan never said anything, and Shen Anzai never objected either. Over time, he got used to ordering Mu Rongshan around on a daily basis. Who would have thought that he would be beaten today? Humph, just a useless peak master and a useless disciple. If I can't touch the peak master, can't I still touch the disciple? As long as I bring up the fact that Mu Rongshan ranked last in the previous sect competition, won't he scram with his tail between his legs? Watching Shang Shen leave, Shen Anzai frowned. Being ranked last in the sect competition would result in being expelled from the sect. Why didn't he know about this? A system prompt sounded in his mind. "Host, the exorcism sword technique is ready. Get lost." Shen Anzai couldn't help but curse, his brows tightly knitted. He had finally managed to convince his disciple to say, if he was expelled from the sect, where would he get his rewards? "Master, I'm sorry." Mu Rongshan lowered his head, looking like he had done something wrong. He felt that ranking last in last year's sect competition was really embarrassing for his master. "What are you apologizing for? With me here, even the King of Heaven can't drive you away," Shen Anzai said confidently, with a firm look on his face. Joking aside, if the disciple left, not to mention whether he could keep his reward, where would he get more skill cards? Master Mu Rongshan looked at the person in front of him, his eyes turning red, deeply touched in his heart.